talked about this, or I heard this somewhere, that when you're doing a demo, you'll sort of build like their process into close during the demo so that they can actually use it. This idea of building sticky trials with a good product demo, I was wondering if you can talk me through how you guys go about doing that.
Absolutely. So there are times when we hop on a call. We don't always have to sell conceptually at close. Some SaaS platforms, they have to sell conceptually. It's just far too complicated to actually give them tangible tools within the software after that demo to go and be successful. For some sales reps, they don't have that luxury. At close, we do. We can have a conversation with somebody about what they're trying to accomplish. And a lot of times it's fairly straightforward. And I'll show them how we'll do it, like in close in my demo account. And then I'll just say, do you guys just want to translate some of this work into your account and just get to work right now? And a lot of times they say, yeah, that'd be great. And so what we'll do is we'll log into their account, and right in front of them, we'll walk through a few foundational steps to customize what they're trying to do in close, and then create some process behind it, and leveraging smart views, which are dynamic lists, to create workflows for their reps. So at the end of the call, I've helped them build a usable workflow where now I can say, rep A and B that are on the call looking at this, during this trial, you can go and use this and see how successful it's going to make you, how much more productive it's going to make you. I want to hear your feedback about that by the end of the trial. I want them to go in and use it. And so I'll do that on a pretty regular basis. I would say 7 out of 10 demos, I'm typically transitioning into, hey, we can actually put this in your account today. Do you want to do that? Yes. And hand off the account at the end of the call so that they can get into the solution, start using it. 50% of the time, those folks will run with it and they'll go and use the workflow that we built out inside of Close. Their reps will be really stoked about it because they realize how easy it is to use, because we are built for the end salesperson. And ultimately, it gets the green light from the decision maker because they see the value just in the sales process. It's not conceptual. It's not 3 months from now we're going to be successful using this pretty new platform that we bought. It's like, wow, within 1 week of starting a trial, we were successful using it. And so I like to do that as much as I can. Not sustainable on every call when someone comes up and we have a million different automation pieces to consider. But for a pretty straightforward sales process, which a lot of folks have, you can implement in 30 minutes and be up and running and get your sales team rolling. And that just leads to higher conversion rates.
That's so cool. So yeah, that's what I was going to ask too. When you actually have built out the process and they've put it into their account and close and they have things set up that fits into their unique workflow for sales, how does that affect them down the road? Like when their free trial ends and it's time for them to convert or not, how does that affect the conversion?
It makes for a much higher conversion because all they have to do at that point is enter their credit card and continue working. It's seamless. So the conversion rate is much higher. Someone where we implement a successful workflow, maybe they're going to convert at a 70% rate. If we've had a connection, we've established there's a fit, we've put a workflow inside a close, they've seen results, typically they're going to convert.
That's so cool. Because normally a product demo is sort of generic, but being able to actually go in and show them this is how your team would use this product, that can turn a product demo into much higher conversion, I'm assuming.
Correct. And I think the best sales reps in the world, like as you ramp up on a new product, you have to go through your typical demo to just get the repetition in, get the talk tracks down. But as you get that repetition, you should be consulting as an expert, and every demo should not be the same. You should be talking to the person specifically in the specific problem they're trying to solve. The person on the other end shouldn't be like, just another demo, I'll sit through this talk track. This is boring. That's ineffective. The other person should be just as engaged as you. You should be having a conversation. You're brainstorming ideas. You're bringing it to life, whether it's conceptual or tangible. And at the end of the call, your lead should be blown away. If it's a good fit. Again, if they're not a good fit, tell them.
Yeah, it's true. And then as far as like more long-term down the road, these people who have been through a product demo where you've shown them how it works with their own process, you put it inside their account and close, you've helped them build a workflow, they've used it through the free trial, they've converted. Does that affect like long-term down the road, how long they stay with close?
Very much so, because customer success can't touch every single account. At this point, it's not sustainable when you have
Mm,
a really high volume inbound process. So if they get that love on the front end in the sales process and they're seeing results, it's a very high likelihood they stay for the long term, unless something comes up financially, they
hmm.
go out of business, or there's new leadership and they want to implement their own solution. Typically they stick around. There's a very low churn rate if you're able to get them sticky in the product and in the sales process. One, they
Hmm.
feel the love on the sales process. They feel seen. No one wants to not feel seen as a buyer. Two, you gave them accessibility. It's not just conceptual where you have to go and talk about how you might be able to do this. It's tangible and accessible. People love accessibility. I love accessibility when things are made easy, right?
Everybody does. So in the end, having a good process right from the beginning in sales of demoing your product can
Mm,
actually affect long-term sales metrics like churn and stuff like that.
correct.
That's awesome. Cool. That was really interesting. I learned some stuff there. We have been talking a little bit about this idea of consultative sales, being more than just a sales rep, also being a consultant, being someone who's there to help your prospects, looking to solve problems, especially in SaaS. This is important.
Mhm.
Of course, having a more personalized approach to each of these prospects and leads, consulting with them, working with them throughout the sales process obviously takes quite a bit of your time. So how do you balance how much time you spend with these leads? How do you make sure that you're not spending too much time with one person and missing out on other valuable prospects?
You try and create a blueprint of how they can be successful after one demo. Not every call warrants a demo. Some people have that mindset, but it's just simply not true.
Hmm.
So, creating a blueprint. My blueprint is what we talked about, getting people sticky in the trial, solving their problem that they set out to solve on that demo, whether you're building out process on that call or you've put it in very accessible terms of how we're going to execute. If they walk away from that call with a clear path forward, you've got yourself past step one of just, will this work? You need to try and solve that on the first call. Two, giving them the tools to be successful as a next step. Now, if they say, we're going to play around in the trial, we all know everybody says that for folks that offer trials. That's great, but a lot of people click around, they feel unsuccessful, they give up, they'll say, I'll come back to it in a couple of days and try this again. And they don't. And then they're just unresponsive, right? That's just
Hmm.
the nature of SaaS and offering a trial. So how can I give them tools to be really successful? One, very well executed resources, 2-minute video clips of how to utilize most features within your product, a really clear help article center segmented by features.
Hmm.
And these are things that have enabled me to be successful, created by our success team and our support team. So they've supported me on this end. And then defining 5 steps that are useful and easy to access within the trial after the demo. So here's a couple of resources. Tell them this on the demo, that what they are and why they're valuable. Give them 5 steps of what they can do in the trial to make it feel like they're actually doing something and being productive within that trial to
Hmm.
evaluate if it's going to be a long-term fit for them. Then I will check in on their activity in their account. So are they logging in? We're tracking the last time they've logged into their account. If they are not logging in, I'm going to ping them and ask them what they need. Why haven't they logged in? I see you haven't logged in 3 days. Do you need something? Has this just not been a priority? And so between just being able to monitor their activity, if they've logged in or not, that's it. That helps me determine if I need to communicate with them or not. So if those resources that I gave them are being effective, or are they not? Do they need a little bit more support? Some people just say, hey, I haven't had the time. I plan to do it this week. Great. I'll just continue to set a task on them to track if they're using the trial. Other folks will say, I got stuck on this. Okay, great. Again, that doesn't warrant another call. What did you get stuck on? Typically, they're going to respond via email. I'm going to respond via Loom, and I'm going to show them how to solve the
Hmm.
problem and solve the problem within their account. Send that over. They can replicate what I've done, or I can do it for them. And it's 5 minutes of my time so that they can continue to be successful. So, one, creating really clear vision, how to execute on the demo, giving them resources that can help them be successful, giving them 5 steps that are going to make them feel like they're being productive on accomplishing their goals within the trial. Managing your time in terms of every interaction does not require a demo, a call, a super long email. A Loom and a little bit of effort can eliminate that.
That makes so much sense. I was talking with Kate the other day about using Loom as well, and I hadn't thought of it as something that you can actually use to save time. But it's so true. And it's exactly what you said. Not all of these would require a phone call or a video call to explain this to the person. Loom is so easy to use. You just pop in there, record a quick video and send it off to them. And that actually saves you quite a bit of time.
They're typically asking process questions and technical questions. And they can save that video and go back and, what did James say about doing that? They can go back and see it, implement, and they have that forever versus a call. Even if you send a Zoom call recording ever, like how many people actually go back through? Where was it? Was it in like timestamp 15 where James was talking about that? Typically people don't do that.
It's so true. Going back to, you were talking about some of these resources as well. Do you, as the sales team, have some reusable resources or videos like this that you've done with Loom that you can send again to people?
Absolutely. So one of them is just recording a standard demo of the platform and sending it to folks that inquire when you don't have the bandwidth to jump on demos, sending it over. Hey, take a look at this. Let me know what specific questions you have, what plan is going to be a good fit for you. Happy to consult further. If we need to eventually move to a demo, we can. But at least you can get in the door, get your eyes on it, see if it's a good fit. We cover all the elements that we'd cover in a typical demo anyway. So that's one that we reuse all the time. Then there's other things like importing, and this is what your data should look like when you're importing. This is how you import. Just small things like this that you can reuse that you know that it's been effective in the past. So the answer is absolutely. I would just create videos for things that come up really often in the sales process, but I would definitely recommend creating a pre-recorded demo and sending that over and creating an email template that has that. So when you're inundated, you don't have bandwidth, you can at least make sure that these folks are getting a touch on them in a timely manner. Grab your email template, send it over. At least you have that to just get the conversation started.
Nice. That's so cool.